name is Francis Cherry, and I trained with NuDATA in 2019, November 2019. Yeah. I went to New York Tech and I did a master in telecommunications.
And from there, I went to a community college. So that kind of that transition itself was, it affected me, but at the same time, I was going through it by myself. So it was like, you're just taking it head on.
I was in environmental services probably, I want to say like 10 to 12 years, being a housekeeper, and worked in hotels, hospitals, nursing homes, pretty much anything that was available. But I found that it was something I wasn't interested in. The money for the stress was more than I wanted it to be. And so I was looking for
my background is technical. I have a background in electricity, electronics, and also telecommunication. But telecommunication in the area of voice, which is IVR, computer telephony integration.
Right after school, I got a job at Hertz. I left that job to start working at the post office, and then I got terminated from the post office. So I was like unemployed for like about 6 months, and then like at the end of the year, that's when I started working for the Valley company.
I was in between positions. So when I did reach out to NuDATA, it was kind of just the right moment for me to get involved. I wasn't working at the time.
I wasn't working. So I had the free time to explore this opportunity. So therefore, that was right around that time that I was working. So it was good for me to do.
I was searching deep on the web and I heard NuDATaTech.com. I'm trying to...
when I found out the opportunity, it definitely was like, all right, I need to take it. And it was definitely, because I'm from Connecticut. That's the third smallest state here. Even though it's next to New York City, the level of opportunity in Connecticut is very scattered.
I didn't know anything about it. I was doing my own research on, is this even real? Like, I was like, I don't know, because there's no way that I could just, do a 7-day training and then get into some type of field where I'm making $80K. Like, nah, I don't know. That sounds like pipe dream.
My cousin got into it and he was telling me about it, and I was like, well, we'll see, But when I started seeing his checks come in, I was like, man, this is kind of dope.
And it kind of took a chance. I didn't really know what to expect. I took a chance, and I'm glad I did, for sure.
I said I didn't really have anything to lose at that point. It's like, you already tried the college thing. So it's like now you just either, self-teach or look for a trade.
I kind of did my own due diligence, I was on a lot of different search engines, and I've seen it a couple times on different work boards, the career builders and the Indeeds. So once I did that, I reached out.
My cousin works with a guy who worked with a guy that knew you, and they had told me about the classes, and he was like, I think this would be a good opportunity for you to, you're not working, so you can take off and go down there, do the class. And so as soon as he told me, I gave you a call and set that up right away.
But hands-on, I didn't have any experience on hands-on. So I decided to give it a try, to have sort of hands-on experience, be for the first time on the base side.
I was happy with the instructor, of course. Gave me a lot of intel, detail, but just being able to see different sites and more or less go over the terminology, but also see it helps a lot, especially now that I'm out in the
it's a good training. It's a very, very important training that will get you ahead of the game, because there are guys that are going into the field and they don't have this training, so they don't know what to expect.
Like I said, the way you teach in the class was beneficial for me because it was hands-on. Number one, I actually got to go to a site and see what it looks like. And then you took your time to actually explain things that we had questions for. And like I said, I know it sounds simple, but your 5-step of troubleshooting really helped me to excel in this job, because I was able to troubleshoot faster than everybody else. And so to see the technology that powers my phone and see the background of how it works, it just made me even more excited to get into it.
It's going to introduce me to basically the fundamentals you need to be successful in this type of
Absolutely, because it's live, live on a base station that is already powered up, working. So you get to see the cabinet is going to be open, and then you're going to see all the wirings, all the connections, and what's
seeing how things operated, going to sites that are up, going to sites that are down, going to sites that are kind of like, being installed, just seeing different situations, different types of equipment from radios.
As far as the training, it gives you an idea of all the equipment that are installed inside of that cabinet
and stuff. It gives you a heads up so that when you're finally on your own or you're on that contract, you know what to expect more or less than just getting thrown out to the wolves kind of in that aspect. So for example, like I could kind of show you, like if I'm in a cabinet now, the hands-on training, I know now, like when I first got to a site, I knew if I go in this cabinet that everything on the top here is LTE and everything on the bottom is for phone, CDMA. And I learned that through training with you guys.
And so it put me in a position where my bosses were like, man, this guy know a little something. But all I was doing was following the steps of what you showed in the class. And it put me in a position to where in 3 months, I've been now elevated to a higher position as a lead tech with no experience.
They definitely helped me get my first contract.
It played 100% major role, because if I didn't take the training class, I would have never got the connections. And
resume, because the training, after the training, you gave us a sample of what we've done on site. So that filled in my resume to prove that I was trained.
I would say everything, really. You taught me how to structure the resume. You told us what, tips to do when we were searching for jobs, what to search for.
He reached out to me again for the second time. So I already had 4 phone meetings at this time, 2 with Ericsson, 2 with SCOM, Lorient Global now. And with NuDATA, you're going to be set up for success because they're going to go over what these recruiters may or may not say to you. So it's kind of like, just prepping you for the big day, kind of in that aspect. And preparation is key for anything. So,
but what got me the contract was a word of mouth interview. I didn't even interview for the job. John's telling me to give you a call. I heard about a great opportunity that would be good for you to start with if you're interested. But it was funny because the job that I got, I actually had already applied for anyway. But it was wound up being more of a word of mouth thing where I didn't even have to do the interview. I just started.
Well, it took me like roughly a month.
I want to say it took me maybe 3 weeks. It took me 3 weeks to find this position.
That was just really fast. It was like almost the next day I got the call. I got the call the next day. Yeah.
I started in, I want to say like March with Verizon. And I stayed with him until COVID kicked in, and then that.
I got my first assignment with Parsons, and Parsons was working in the T-Mobile project with Ericsson. And then once you get an assignment, they're not going to let you go by yourself. You're going to spend a week or 2 or more shadowing somebody.
My first thought was, man, I would never have thought I would be in a position to do this without a college education or, some type of like long training for
Oh, it's totally affordable. Totally affordable compared to college.
It was chump change compared to other jobs I've worked where you go to training or, you pay for some type of education and then it takes you years to get that money back. Once you get into telecom, I would say in your first day, you probably earned your class money back.
Definitely. That's probably the best $200 you can invest right now if you ain't got nothing going on.
If I had to do it again, I would, for sure. And I really do encourage more people to take a chance on NuDATA because I did, and it changed my life. Seriously.
Because I looked at it as an opportunity for me not to only grow for myself, but to grow for my family. So, you know, it's an awesome job. It's probably the best job I've ever had.
Before, I was going through some rough patches in my life. It was really rough. I took a chance. I made a friend for life with you, but also with that, I gained the experience I needed.
If you pay attention in class, I promise you, you'll be in the same position I'm in after 3 months of just, you know, knocking it out. You know, my boss just trusts me to send me this, you know, to come into this field of work and never have done this before, and to get promoted to a lead in only 3 months, to where I'm able to actually work from home. I prayed for that for so long. But to be able to work from home and still get paid the same money and then go on the field when needed, you can't ask for anything better than that, in my opinion. It's a nice feeling to be in a job where you're not having somebody walking all over you, you know, or, you know, talking crazy to you or whatever. And you can actually be your boss in a sense while you're doing this, because as the field engineer, you kind of the middleman, you kind of run the site. You know, you're the captain in so many words. So it's a great feeling to go from the industry that I was in to go into this. You know, I'm out here chilling, you know, in so many words, as far as my attire, as far as what I'm wearing. I come to the site, I do my stuff, and then after that, I'm just monitoring, you know?
No, it's not impossible. First of all, you're going to learn a lot in 5 days. You know, you got to take notes. You know, bring a notepad, take notes on what what the trainer is telling you.
I want to see the younger, or not even the younger, but just the newer students of NuDATA win. And they, you know,
TechCom, training for your future today.
NuDATA TechCom, training for your future today.
NuDATA TechCom, training for your future today.
NuDATA TechCom, training for your future today.
But same thing. When it first started, it was still across seas. We didn't think that it was in America yet, so it wasn't really no concern. But then when it actually started to come, you know, to a point where people started to be concerned in America, it made me feel grateful to have a job that was COVID-proof, if you will, because I was thinking about, man, if I was working any other job, I'd probably have to be, you know, sitting at home. Yeah, because the cops were pulling people over during the, you know, in certain areas where you weren't supposed to be driving. So we had to keep those letters on us from Verizon, just in case we did, you know, get pulled over or get cited at a site. You know, we could just show them, hey, I am an essential worker. I'm supposed to be here, and then they would, you know, they let you go with no experience, 3 months. But I followed the steps that you showed us, and now my boss called and said, hey, I couldn't tell you guys, but you know, we're now ready to start the position, and you guys are going to now be 50% working from home and 50% working in the field. It came with a car allowance. Like I told you, it came with a cell phone. I mean, miles would have been nice, but I figured, you know what? I can drive my hoopty and let them pay for a brand new car and keep the miles low. You know what I mean? And let them buy my new car, and I just leave it in the driveway till the weekend. So, you know, it's been a blessing, man. You know, the class wasn't long, but it was a lot of fun. It wasn't boring. Even for the guys that were, you know, doing the class remote, they seemed to have a lot of fun. And I'm still in contact with a lot of the guys. One of the guys that was in the class is out here with me until he went to Philly Day. I get guys that call me, hey man, you learned this and I missed it last week. How we do this? I'm like, all right, got you. And then next week it'll be me. Hey man, how I do this right here? And it's like a big brotherhood. Everybody, you know, wants to help everybody out because they. I would say my confidence is at the level that I expect to be a PM or a CM within the next 6 months. Only because the amount of opportunities that is out here is endless. I mean, there's contractors and subcontractors and people opening their own businesses, and you know, the opportunities are